So imagine you cooking, you know what I'm saying, and somebody's in your ear, more pepper, more salt. Yeah, yeah, more cayenne, more cayenne.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. DjShane 202.
You know, it's an honor. Finally got in the on the show with you.
Yeah. I've been waiting to get you. I'm like a fisherman. I'll be like, I'm gonna get that fish. I'm gonna get that fish. I'm gonna get that fish.
You know, I'm feeling like some catfish tonight, huh?
Oh man, what is it? Hip hop fish and chicken.
Hey, there you go. That crack
So,
they sprinkle on there.
oh yeah, they sprinkle the crack. So I went through that joint the other day, and they got the little crack on there, and I was like, maybe I want a little more crack. So next time I go, I'm gonna be like, hey,
Extra
put a little
crack.
bit of extra, not a lot extra, just a little bit extra on the joint. But hey, the shit was good though. I was like, oh, this shit
Uh,
hitting. What I've been missing.
I told you.
All right, so let me introduce you. For y'all that don't know, this is at DjShane 202. How do I know DjShane? Well, he's not DjShane to me. He's my brother-in-law. So we family, something like blood. So I love him dearly. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all show him love throughout the live. Welcome to the show, my man. Soft clap.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I know in our pre-interview conversation, you said you wanted to talk about music, right? And so normally the way I start my show off, I pretty much once I greet you, I jump right into whatever it is that you want to talk about, right?
Okay.
And we're gonna do that, but for you, I got something a little different. You being the DJ,
All
right?
right. I'm with you.
So, okay, so I know that every other Friday you do the Friday night fights thing on the Underground Lab. So I said
Mm-hmm.
instead of just talking about him, him DJing and stuff like that, we'll get all to that. But I made a small list of head-to-head battles, and I want you to pick.
I got you.
You can do that for me.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna start right at the side. So I got some hip hop, and I got some R&B in there, So it's not all hip hop. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Jay-Z or Nas?
Ah, that's the ultimate one right there.
That's why I said I'm gonna go
Um,
from the frying pan into the fire, off the rip.
uh,
You're
I'm gonna go with Hove. Hove is my guy.
gonna go with Hove. Okay.
Yeah.
Cole or Kendrick?
I'm gonna go Cole.
Cole. Kim or
Yeah.
Foxy?
Ooh. I'm more Foxy than Kim.
More Foxy than Kim. Well, let's stop there. Why
Yeah.
why are you more Foxy than Kim?
Just well, one, you got the writing of Hove behind her.
Okay.
I love Foxy voice. I love like one of my favorite joints is by Foxy, that joint, Holy Matrimony.
Yeah.
Just the way she rides the beat and her voice captures
Mm-hmm.
it. I think it took a minute for Kim to find her voice. Because if you listen to the Junior Mafia album, she's
Mm-hmm.
real raw. She's kind of still filling it out. But once
Yeah.
she got her solo project, she kind of found her voice a little bit more. Foxy was more like she just had it.
Yeah.
Even her features on Who Shot You, she just came in with that sound.
Yeah.
So of course, she was tooled by Jay and Nas, so she had no choice but to have that
But to
flow and
be
have that
great.
voice.
I'm with you. I'm with
Hmm.
you. I hear you. I hear you. I won't get y'all mine. But Usher versus Usher versus R. Kelly. Minus R. Kelly's
Ooh,
bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But with just straight
yeah,
music. Usher
yeah,
versus R. Kelly.
yeah. Um,
That's a good one, right?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Kelly, just even not more for like, of course, his production.
Mm-hmm.
And R. Kelly could take us the most simplest thing and make a song out of it.
Right.
And he touched so many genres. You
Right.
know, so Ursha's the man, but I'm
Usher,
gonna have to go
yeah.
R. Kelly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go R. Kelly on that one.
Okay. Quality or most deaf?
Most deaf.
Really?
Um,
Why? Why
mo-
so?
Most Def is, your top five is so subjective.
Of
And
course.
for me, Most Def is like he's in my top five just for the way, even when he comes on and he does his melodic singing,
Mm-hmm.
um, just in his voice, his charisma. Like Talib is he straight rap, he
Yeah.
just bars rap.
Mm-hmm.
Most is like everything, you know.
Right. All right. So Coach Doc Jones 44 said Chris Brown or Drake.
Ah, I mean, I'm gonna go Chris Brown. I mean, because Drake, if Drake was, you know how I feel about Drake. If Drake was just a singer, he's not that great of a singer. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So his singing he can't touch. Chris Brown. I mean, as far as
Okay.
like hits for hits, um, I'm gonna have to go Chris Brown. Plus Drake just made a song called "I'm Too Sexy." Uh, that kills it right there. That
Then somebody Rice said Fred already make a
yeah,
joint and too sexy for my shirt and all that shit.
yes,
I haven't
yes,
heard Drake. Is
yes.
Drake joint anything similar to that? Like, is it a sample or some shit?
It's it's definitely close to it. So for a rapper to remake "I'm Too Sexy," you lose all your gangster with that. You lose all your gangster with that.
Okay. Mariah or Whitney?
That's a good one. That's a good one. Um, I'm gonna have to go. Ooh, ballads. I would give it to Whitney,
Okay.
but like when Mariah come with those remixes and that hip hop with it,
Mm-hmm.
Whitney just don't have that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, voice wise, I probably would rock more with Whitney.
Okay.
Mariah's more the falsetto and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, acting, I'm definitely going with Whitney because if you seen Glitter, so if I had to put like all of their skill set, be like, all right, out of the five, which one?
Mm-hmm.
Like Mariah would be like a 4 out of 5, and Whitney is probably like touching on all, each one of those. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
go with Whitney.
Okay, Whitney. Coach Doc Jones 44 once again says Lauren Hill or Erica Badu.
Um, depends who shows up on time.
Oh,
Um,
whichever one gets to the venue first and gets on the
first,
mic and moves with me,
yes,
right?
yes, exactly. Um, but I'm gonna probably say, I'm gonna go Erica Badu. I'm gonna go Erica Badu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Beyonce or Aaliyah?
Mm. I love Queen B, but if
Oh
anybody
shit.
knows me, knows the affinity that I have for Aaliyah. Aaliyah, it's like Sade and Aaliyah. It's like my, people that like you could never touch. So for me, it'd be
Okay.
Aaliyah. Yeah.
Aaliyah. Okay.
Hmm.
Let me. I got one more for you, but I'm gonna hit the comments. Crystal Dasha Khan said Aaliyah. I am just me underscore always said Lauren for me. Um, Nick Nickel 77 said that's a tough one, but Erica Badu.
Oh, that's my
Um,
guy, Nick. What's up, Nick?
yeah. Nick said you a dancing DJ. You a dancing DJ because you picked Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, Melissa said Beyonce, and I'm not even a fan, so she taking Beyonce over Aaliyah.
Mm,
That was a tough one for me. I still haven't decided. Luckily, I get to ask the question, so I don't have to decide. You can ask me when I
right,
come on the
yeah.
Underground Lab, or you do the battle or whatever. So the last one I got for you before we get into your story, your travels with music is Prince versus MJ.
In my younger years, it was MJ all the way. You know, Christmas time, my mom had the Jackson 5 album.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I saw Mike, I want to rock with you, you
Mm-hmm.
know, all about Mike. Once I probably hit about 12, 13, got into Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Prince, it's been Prince for me all the way.
So what is it about Prince like now
Hmm
that does it
Um,
for you?
one, I love his the way he applies himself to music.
Hmm.
You know, every he imprints. He has a footprint in everything that he does, whether it's writing. Then I love the lineage that came behind him. You know,
Hmm.
from Morris Day and the Time, from Sheila E. Just everything that he touched. You know, the other bands that he had. Um, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, you know,
Hmm.
so his Prince's lineage and the people that he influenced just was like dope, you know. And like I
Hmm.
said, granted, Prince has so much stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Prince, he just, you can feel him in everything that he does, you know what I'm saying? When you hear like,
Hmm.
oh, that's a Prince joint right there, you know.
Mm.
So
Melissa said she
I
could never
hope.
choose between Prince and MJ.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Like it's on my bucket list because Paisley Park, like one Prince House is so big that it has its own zip code. So it's like its own thing. Like that's crazy, right? So you can actually visit Paisley Park. It's almost like a museum.
Hmm.
So that's definitely on my bucket list to go up there and check that out.
Okay, okay. So I got one more for you, but it's not a verse. It's just something that I think would be an interesting answer to come from someone like you who's, really into music.
Hmm
So you get one song to listen to that you can listen to for the rest of your life, and you can't hear
Okay,
any other song, right?
got you.
What song is that?
Marvin Gaye, I Want You.
Why?
Because one that song is a life, you know what I'm saying? And if you
Hmm.
listen to the lyrics in that song, they never get old. It's so simplistic, you
Hmm.
know. It's like probably like my favorite song of all time. The lyric says, I want you, and I want you the way that I want you. You know, that's the definition of reciprocity when it comes to love, you
Hmm.
know. And the way he rides the beat in the song, the way he like Marvin Gaye knows how to make his voice an actual instrument on in music. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? It's
Right.
not like he's singing hard over top, like he just rolls through that song. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like I said, that's as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, I got it, because
You know.
like that's like my favorite song of all time. And then I love the different variations of the song. Like I can listen to that song a cappella with just Marvin Gaye's voice,
Hmm.
or I can just listen to the instrumental. I got a version that has just Marvin Gaye and like the percussion and bass in the background. So that's my joint right there.
Oh, you gotta take me through that zone so I can hear the different joints.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So that pretty much wraps up my rapid fire Friday night. I did the Friday night battle of the beats or whatever for you since you so gracious to be here with me. As you can see, I got on my Salute King
Uh-huh.
t-shirt.
I
This is
see.
y'all. This is the DjShane t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Salute King.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so let's just talk about how you fell in love with music and got into DJing and all of that. Like, tell me that story.
Mm. So I've been like music just been, I would say, since toddler stage, and then as
Mm,
I got older, you know how most kids want like toys and shoes, and like, not saying I didn't want to be fly, but when I got good grades, I didn't want to go to the Foot Locker, or I wanted my mom to take me to Kent Mills or the, Waxy Maxi to get a record.
mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted when it was time to get, the harvest of the good things I had. So I would be in my room just listening, just listening to records. And then back in the well, I don't want to say back in the day, but when you used to have singles, they would
Mm-hmm.
have like just the instrumentals. So I would listen to the instrumentals. I would listen to the way a rapper may bringing his cadence on a on the track.
Mm-hmm.
So when my mom's had company over, I was the one thumbing through the records and putting on the records for her.
Mm-hmm.
So music just always just been in me. And
Right.
I love the rhythm of life. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, um and some people may not think about music the way that I do, but music is all around me. If I'm studying, if I whatever I'm doing, I have to have some kind of rhythm, whatever I'm doing. And when you think about the body, our heart beats with a rhythm. We walk with a rhythm. We
Mm-hmm.
even think, the neutrons and the electricity that flows through our body has a rhythm to it. So
Right.
I just always loved the rhythm of life. And when it came to DJing, I really started actually seriously DJing. It was probably about 13 years ago. I was working in the office and they were having a office Christmas party.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my guys there, shout out to my man Lonnie, he was like, yo, because I was the bootleg man too. So in the office, in the office, I would sell CDs and DVDs. And he was like, yo, you the guy with all the music. You know what I'm saying? Why don't we get you to DJ the Christmas party versus us just going to get a DJ? So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, bet, I'm with it. So I just been, building my equipment from there,
Right.
and so being able to turn your passion to profit from your passion, I think
Mm-hmm.
is the ultimate goal.
Right.
And of course, me and you done music before.
Oh yeah, we're gonna give
So
yeah. We gotta go down
yeah.
that rabbit hole. Yeah. You pulled me out of retirement. So for those of y'all who are watching this live and have been wondering where Chell's music is, right? Or if there's gonna be another Chell's verse. This is the guy that dragged me kicking and screaming out of retirement, harassed me for a verse. So I gave him one. So he does have an upcoming project that has a new verse for me on it, and he sent me another
Yes.
beat the other day, so y'all might get two.
Uh-huh.
I'll be nice, be
Uh-huh.
nice. So yeah, so there's that aspect of. I want to give a shout out right quick. Rick Flections, follow me. I appreciate that. Melissa said you're very knowledgeable. Shout out DJ.
Appreciate that.
Is that DJ Miss Classy?
Okay.
DJ Miss Classy. So
Radio Rick, that's my guy, Radio Rick.
Radio Rick. So Radio Rick, follow me. Shout out to Radio Rick and everybody else is watching. Shout out to Red Shoe 1234. We love you. So something that I always wondered in terms of DJs, right?
Mm,
Y'all be doing y'all shit at the club, at the party, and then it's
mm.
this annoying motherfucker like right
Oh,
here.
yeah. Yes. Yes.
Right? Yo, tell me what goes through your mind when you in your zone. So hold on. So in my mind, right, you already got like a lineup or something. I ain't no DJ, I'm a rapper. But you got like three,
Mm,
four, maybe 5, 10 songs. I don't know. But then this dude's like, yo, play this, play this, play this, play this. Tell me
mm.
about that shit, yo.
All right. So imagine you cooking, you know what I'm saying? And somebody's in your ear, more pepper, more salt. Yeah, yeah, more cayenne, more cayenne. And you know what you want this dish to taste like. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you want it to be spicy. And they're like, nah, make it sweeter, make it sweeter. So they're trying to influence the taste that you want, everyone to taste.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy part, like one of the first thing I had to learn when I DJ was trust myself.
Okay.
I let that dude in my ear be like, "Yeah, play this," and I played it and cleared the dance floor. I said, "Oh
Really?
hell no,
Oh no.
yeah, yeah, yeah,"
Self-suicide.
cause that dude in your ear, he's thinking about what he wants to hear,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily thinking about, as a DJ, the biggest thing that you can do for yourself is to learn. It's not about you. It's
Mm-hmm.
about the crowd and the people that's there. You know what I'm saying? Now you can influence it by the way that you mix and all that kind of stuff. But it
Mm-hmm.
all depends on one, the crowd, and then the type of set that you're doing. You know,
Okay.
is this the type of set that's more curated, or is this a party set where you getting everybody to party? Are you creating a vibe? You know, all of that matters.
Right.
And you know, DJing one of them things. You know, especially now with technology, everyone thinks that they can do it
Right.
till they have to do it.
Right. Okay. Well, that's cool. I always wanted that. I've never been the guy to go to the DJ and ask for too much of anything. So if I ever did that to you, it was an accident. I
Oh no,
apologize.
you good?
You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never come to you and be like, "Hey, play this shit off my album," so you ain't gotta worry
uh,
about that. You know, it's cool. Do your thing. All right, cool. So now we touched on this a little bit. You also rap.
yes,
Do you
sir.
prefer being an artist or a DJ more?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay.
Um, I would probably say being an artist gives me a chance to do both.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, well, you kind of know how I work. So the way that I work, you know, I once I hear the music,
Mm-hmm.
I see the whole thing. I see and I hear the hook. I see and I hear who should be featured on there, who should go first, you know, and it's something about creating um that's awesome. To take a
Mm-hmm.
blank canvas, a beat that, you know, some people may have heard of or nobody has ever heard, and add layers to it, you know, to add a verse to it, to add a hook to it, to put all those things together. And like me, I'm a natural creator, you know, so even when I DJ, I'm creating. So to be in that artistic state, um, it just does something to me.
Mm. So something I meant to touch on earlier when you were talking about how like everything is like rhythm, right? So when I
Mm,
go into writing mode and I could take my consciousness to that upper space to where I get the rhymes.
mm,
I know what you're talking about because like if I'm driving, the way the windshield wipers moves will be a lyric. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
The way the leaves are falling off the tree as I'm coming down. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you
All
now.
right, cool, cool, cool. I got my joint on Do Not Disturb and it still came through. So I apologize for that. But yeah, it's like the
You
way the
good?
leaves falling off the trees, that's a lyric. You know what I'm saying? So I know
Mm,
what you mean when you like, but I don't live in that state like constantly. I can
mm,
go to that mode, you know what I'm saying? But it takes a lot of personal energy. That's like a
mm.
stairway to heaven for me. Like if you think about how hard it is to get to heaven, for me to
Yeah.
get there, that shit. That's why when you ask for a verse, I'll be like, nah, I'm gonna do this for you, dog. But like, I don't think you understand like what I got to go through to go. I
The
got to go through hell to
metamorphosis.
get to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I got to go to hell for 3 days to come out with this verse. Like, here goes. I died on the cross for you. Here's your verse, Shane.
And that's what I love you for.
I love you too, bro. So let's talk about your upcoming projects. Let's touch on Wind Down Wednesdays, the Sports
Mm.
Brothers. What's up? What's up with the album?
So when we hit the album first
You can
and then
hit
get to
whatever
the
you
other
want.
thing.
This is your show. I'm just the host.
Hey. I'll get to the radio stuff first.
Okay.
So shout out to the Underground Lab Radio. I got a show in there on Mondays. Shout out my brother Doc, he's on there. My brother Rodney, my brother Steve O. So it's called the Sports Brothers. And everything that I do, um, I think about how one, my talent, but also how I can bring talent out of other people. You know, I think, you know, I see things in people like, yo, this person should be in this light, and this person should be in this light. And I just try to shine light on everybody around me. And I always wanted to do a sports show where we talked about sports from our perspective, you know, not
Mm-hmm.
just from, you know, other people's perspective.
Right.
So hence the sports brothers. So we do that on Mondays from 6 to 9. Then Wind Down Wednesday, since I was young, riding in the backseat of my mom and pop's car and listen to um, the Quiet Storm. I was like, yo, I always wanted to do that. That was always my dream to go to like WHUR. Shout out WHUR. They just celebrated 50 years.
Oh, clap for
Uh,
that. Soft clap for that.
yeah,
50 years. That's major,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah. Um, and always wanted to do something like that. So when I met my brother, oh, he was like, "Yo, I want to start an online radio." I'm like, "I'm with it," and I was like, "Man." So now the crazy part, sometimes you have to think, our dreams could be so big
Hmm.
that if they not on the scale that we're dreaming, we don't actually realize that we actually living our dreams. So
Hmm.
I'm actually living one of my dreams to do a Quiet Storm kind of show right now. So we do a show. Appreciate that, bro. We do a show on Wednesdays called Wind Down Wednesdays, which is similar to the Quiet Storm. Has an R&B vibe. I bring on guests to talk about what they're doing, and it's interesting because whoever I have on, they don't really know, but I always get a vibe from them and curate my playlist and my music around that,
Mm.
which is pretty dope.
Cool, cool, cool. What about so we got the Sports Brothers, we got Wind Down Wednesdays. Don't y'all got an app for the radio station?
We do. If you have a Android phone, it's called TUL Radio. You can go ahead and download it. We're waiting for Apple takes a long time to kind of approve apps. So we kind of, we're still in the curation part of that. We're waiting to get some things back and all that to finally kind of get that going. But soon we'll be on Apple, so you can just hit the app and you'll go straight to the music.
Cool. Make sure after this you send me the link. So this goes on YouTube. Once I edit it down, the YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, click that subscribe button, tap the
Yeah,
bell, like, follow, comment, follow at DjShane 202 on Instagram and all of that good stuff. Good stuff. But text me the link for the app, and I'll put it in the description on
gotcha.
YouTube. So if somebody
Okay.
kind of catches it that way, open it up for you.
Shout
Um,
out. I am just me always. Appreciate you. Sweetie, she said she following, she downloading. That's dope.
yeah, she was on the show. That's the poet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Dope,
yeah. So I'm
dope,
just
dope.
connecting people. I'm just networking. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Hey, you like this, you get on here,
yeah,
bam.
yeah. My brother BJ Page says your network is your net worth. So
I hear that. Yeah, that's all fact. It was something else that I had in my mind to tell you too, but it slipped my mind. It's all good. What's up with the album? Can we
so
talk
the
about the
album,
album?
absolutely,
Okay, I ain't know.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So the album is called Hustle and Motivate.
Okay.
Which when I was thinking about an album, one shout out to Nipsey Hussle. His last album, which was his last album, before he passed, he had a song on his album called Hustle and Motivate, which was my favorite song on the album.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was putting the music together for my project, I was thinking like, what song or what, not really what song, but what words basically describe like this wave that I'm on and really captures the essence of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hustling and motivate. One, I'm always hustling, I'm always working. So that's always going to be the thing. But you kind of get to that stage to where it can't just be about the hustle. It got to be about, motivating others around you. Because once you get to that point, not saying, I'd never stop hustling, but the network around me will be so strong because I motivated those people around me and put them in certain spaces and certain lights that, I'm going to be good. And
Mm.
I never believe in being the smartest woman and the smartest one in the room. If I'm the smartest one in the room is too small. I'm in the wrong room.
Right.
So if I can motivate everyone around me and we're kind of working and winning together, then that's only going to elevate who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm in the room with Charles and he provides some info that could take something I'm doing to the next level, it's like, oh, that's it right there. Hustle and motivate. So the
Mm.
album is coming. I was, I don't want to say trying to rush it to where it would drop Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve,
Mm.
but it's going to drop in January. So it's coming soon.
Okay, so maybe we'll come back and do a little short joint when it drop. We'll go live and do something. I know you're gonna have something too,
I'm with
but
it.
I have absolutely no problem promoting it. Matter of fact, I'm on it, so why wouldn't I promote
Yes,
it?
sir.
I know,
Yes,
I know
sir.
what you're thinking. You and Melissa, y'all plotting, y'all trying to get like an EP or something or LP or something out of me. I know how y'all
Hey,
are. I
hey,
know. Be nice. That's what we
hustle,
say when we see each other. When you say some bullshit, we like, be nice.
uh, hustle and motivate. Hustle and
Hustle and
motivate.
motivated. Cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see what you got on the joint. Something else I wondered about as far as you being a DJ, like what is that moment like when you are like in a record store or like you doing a little thing that the DJs do when they're going through the records, like the little spider
Mm,
fingers and shit, right? What
yeah,
is that moment like when you find the one that you didn't think you would find, or you come across something that's like, oh shit, like I didn't,
yeah.
you know, what's that? What's that feeling like?
It's like digging for gold, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like I used to go to this spot out in College Park called CD Depot,
Mm-hmm.
and I could spend hours on it in there. And it's a huge record store. It's dirty, and I love it because it's dirty because it's like stuff everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So some of it's organized, some of it's not. But I can be like Indiana Jones in there, and find these archives and all that kind of stuff, and find like it's nothing like finding a mix that either people haven't heard in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
or no one has ever heard. So finding that, and then that euphoria that you get when you play that record, and the people are like, "Damn, okay." I
Mm-hmm.
never heard that before. Like, yo, and then, you know, when they look back at you and that nod that they get a DJ like, yeah, my man, yeah, that's that's a slam dunk right there.
Right. Well, that's cool though, because it goes all the way from you finding it to the end result, which is like you said, you DJ for the other people. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So to get to get that validation, that acknowledgement, all the way back from you digging through the crates, has to be
Hmm.
a a real dope feeling. Um, you know, DJing hip hop is all the same. It goes hand in hand, right? And the essence of hip hop, all the way down to the bone is the battle,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So just tell me some of your favorite hip hop battles throughout
Okay.
history. Some ones
Okay.
that just pop into your mind.
Yeah. It's crazy. I used to actually battle too, which was,
Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. Um, of course, Jay and Nas.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Coach J and Nas.
Who
Um,
you hold on real quick? Who do you think won that battle?
it's like, of course, everyone goes, Jay dropped, Takeover. People always, Ether was crazy record.
Okay.
You know, um, I just, I would have loved to hear a calculated response from Jay, which he actually did. If you listen to the Blueprint 2,
Mm-hmm.
he did a because Super Ugly was a real emotional response,
Mm-hmm.
which it was mad disrespectful.
Yeah.
Which I love that part of the battle because hip hop is it's a full contact sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's aggressive. It's cocky. It's I'm better than you.
Right.
So with all that being said, I think Nas won the battle.
Mm-hmm.
I do give it to Nas because of Ether, but the joint that Jay did on the Blueprint 2 is a
Mm-hmm.
more calculated response. But of course, by that time, the
It was
whole
over.
battle, yeah,
It had
by the
gotten
time it
it,
was
it had
over.
gotten stale by that point because Nas got similar joints on Godson, and they were still
Right.
kind of at it. But I think once Ether dropped, it was pretty much over. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think any Jay had been so untouchable for so long, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to one of my boys at work the other day, and I was telling him like I think that I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way I
Mm-hmm.
kind of put it together in my mind. I think Jay had got to a point where Biggie was gone. and he knew that the only person from that era that the hood and real hip hop heads were gonna hold against him was Nas. People were always gonna be able to say, "Yo, Nas had something on you," and I think Jay
Right.
wanted to be the undisputed. And of course, they had the personal stuff going on, but I think from a hip hop perspective, Jay was like, "If I can eliminate Nas, there is no competition. It's
Right.
all gone, right?"
Yeah.
The only competition that would have been there is my man, and my man's he passed away.
Because what did Jay say? Who they argue all day about who's the best
Best
MC,
MC,
Biggie,
Biggie,
Jay
Jay
Z,
Z,
or
or
Nas?
Nas, right?
Yeah.
And I think that I just don't think he expected Nas to come to life the way he did on Ether, which
Yeah.
prompted the emotional response in Super Ugly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, but
Yeah.
you know.
Which I think one, people don't even realize, rest in peace, Prodigy, like Hove went at two people on the takeover. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Now, I always would have went like, what if he went at Nas on the whole takeover? But I think
Mm-hmm.
in his mindset, it's like, all right, if I go at Nas, I'm gonna go at his man because if I can eliminate both of them in the same joint,
Mm-hmm.
now we're talking. But I think Jay' ultimate goal, which I always would wonder what would have happened, is if they would have did the pay-per-view battle, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
after that. Because I
Yeah.
think because I think that was the play that Jay really wanted. Because that's Jay's lane.
Right.
Jay come, Nas is an artist. Jay come from the battle scene. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I know Jay was like, man, if I can get him to battle me live,
I never thought Nas would take that bait though, because
mm,
Nas seems to be very much of an introvert and very comfortable with himself and the decisions that he makes. So
yeah,
once I heard that, I'm like, yo, Nas not taking that deal because
mm,
that doesn't benefit him. Jay's
right.
gonna eat
He
him
got,
alive on pay-per-view for what? I'm a writer. While you do that, I'm gonna go write a whole album or
mm,
type thing. So I just But what's some other ones though? What's some other beefs that you've enjoyed throughout the decades?
um, I love the Modi and LL. It's a
Mm-hmm.
good one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Cannabis and LL. I actually like Cannabis joint better than LL.
I did
You
too.
know,
I thought
yeah,
Cannabis won that joint if you just going,
yeah.
straight ball for ball. Like,
Yeah. When you say I ripped the mic off your arm, your Vanguard award, and I was like, oh my gosh,
like, whoa,
But
whoa, 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 whoa,
yeah,
whoa, slow down, cuz.
yeah,
What are we doing
yeah,
here?
yeah. But of course, LL had that machine behind him.
Yeah, he had Def Jam behind him.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah.
um, I always like the back and forth with Pusha T. I'm a big Pusha T fan. He's like a rapper's rapper, but the back and forth was like him throwing shots at like Wayne.
Yeah.
And then of course the way that he took out Drake, that was like the perfect Jedi mind trick, you know. And he went
Mm-hmm.
at Drake like at the best way that you could have, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Of course you got MC Shan and KRS-One, the
Mm-hmm.
Brit,
The
like the
bridge is
bridges.
over.
Oh my gosh, when that
Mm-hmm.
beat drops, it's it's a wrap. It's a
Mm-hmm.
wrap. Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. So moving on from that, you and I both remember a time before the music business was a digital type of thing, right?
Mm.
Do you think, what up, Nick? My man. Um, do you think that digital has helped or hurt artists and has helped or hurt the industry overall?
Um, I think it's a gift and a curse with anything.
Mm-hmm.
The gift is, it's just like, when we started a mobile eye, you
Mm-hmm.
know, we didn't have to go shopping for a deal, listen to my demo, none of that. We
Mm-hmm.
learned the business. We learned how we could put this music out.
Mm-hmm.
What do we need to do? Blah, blah, blah. Put it out. The consumers can find it.
Right.
So in that sense, it makes, it opens up the avenues for artists to get their material out and make it accessible to
Right.
the people.
Right.
On the flip side, you lose some of the, um, I would say, the artistic introspective that comes with buying a CD. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Remember how engaged you were with a CD when you bought it?
Yeah.
One, you bought it. So if that CD was $7.99, or before that, before they brought the price down, if it was $19.99, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You would invest it in that CD.
Right.
You spent $20 on it.
Right.
So you weren't going to just skim through that CD and be like, oh, it sucks. You know what I'm saying? You spent
Yeah.
$20 on it. You were going to find, because of course it had to be a single that kind of led you to the album.
Mm-hmm.
Then you were going to, you were going to find something out of this album to rock with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then, like my sister says, you open up the booklet inside. You
Right.
read who produced the track, who sung background vocals,
Right.
who was the
Right.
engineer. So you became connected with the album versus just you download it. If it sucks, it sucks. On to the next one.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Even if you like it, you download it, you still not as connected with it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
It's something about, driving your car, to the spot, going to get the album. If it was
Mm-hmm.
an album that you really wanted, you might have got, because out when records came out on Tuesdays, you might have got
Mm-hmm.
there when they first opened. You might have went there on your
Yeah.
lunch break. You might have went when you got off work. And there was a process. You held the album in your hand. You cracked it open.
The paper,
You know,
like the little you get
yeah.
under the joint. You.
Yeah, so it was a connection there. You physically held the CD and slid it into the display, or slid
Mm-hmm.
it into the part of your car. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So you were invested in it. Like, yo, I'm gonna find, and even if you didn't like the whole album, it may have been like, all right, well, I like this song, or I like this song.
Mm-hmm.
You really got in tune with the music.
Right.
Now, with it being so set, it's like you can, unless you hear like a producer tag or something, like now you gotta click on the credits. And then if the artists don't really know how to do it when they put the music out on these platforms, you may not
Mm-hmm.
see who produced it. You may not, so the connection with music isn't the same that it used to be.
I'm with you. I used to like everything you're saying too, but I used to like how once you pulled the CD out, you could see what the cover was on the
On
inside
the
of the
inside,
jacket.
yeah,
But you couldn't, like, some
yeah.
of them were made in a way you couldn't even get to it. You would have to break the glass on some of them joints to get to it if you wanted to get to it. I always thought
Mm,
that was I always thought that was real dope. Now, sidebar, real quick, back to Jay-Z, right? Because me and
mm,
my man had a conversation at work, and I thought about you because you was gonna be on the show, and I always say Reasonable is his best album, and then I got Blueprint number 2, right? And
okay.
my man, he was like, "Yo, I listened to Magna Carta, and that joint might be better than the Blueprint." And I
Mm,
was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "But this is what you got to do." He was like, "I want you to listen to it with fresh ears." He was like, "Don't expect
mm,
anything. Just put it on tonight and play it."
mm,
And I played it. You know what I'm saying? I gave it an honest listen the whole way through. And I was like, "Yo, he might be right."
mm.
And I had never thought of it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
went back and listened to the Blueprint the next day. And this is the conclusion I came to. I said, well, I have an emotional attachment to the Blueprint because of that time in life
Mm,
and the soulful production of the album, right?
yeah.
But bro, Hove killed the whole album of Magna Carta. And when I say he killed
Yeah.
that shit, I told my man, I said, this joint is like the Cavs being down 3-1 to the Warriors. And Bron like, hey, look, I'm getting this ring. And all the
Mm,
grit that it took for them dudes to come back and win, that's the
mm,
grit that Jay-Z spit the whole album.
yeah.
On the Blueprint, he got one or two little cute joints. Ain't no cute
Mm,
shit on the Magna Carta. So that's just something I
nah.
wanted to drop on you and be like, you might want to listen to that joint one more time, or maybe you
Uh,
already do.
yeah, the Magna Carta, I definitely love the Magna Carta. And that was a transition for Jay,
Mm-hmm.
where he had the deal with Samsung, and it went straight to digital. If you
Mm-hmm.
download it, you got, and like one of my favorite joints on there is Crown. And that's like an
Yeah,
interlude.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He gets nasty on that joint.
I'm telling you, bro, the whole shit is just nasty. And I told my man, I said, well, I believe you that it's a dope album because I said, whenever I put it on, I get the song 8 or 9 and be like, damn, like I haven't skipped anything.
Yeah.
So I know it's legit, but I had just never thought it was in that class. And I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, Jay was in his motherfucking bag on this shit right here. Like, he killing them.
Even, like, because people always look at Nas like such a poet, you know. But Nas has like a ghetto fabulous part of him, you know, which if you come from the hood, you always gonna have that, you know what I'm saying? The joint he got with Nas, you know, with just the chains, it sounded like the studio was a whole party.
Right.
Yeah.
That joint, it blew my mind when I went back. I was like, oh my God, this joint might be number 2. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's crazy. So now I'm willing, I doubt it's gonna happen. I'm willing to put it against reasonable doubt. But I don't think that's gonna happen. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Nick said he's gonna go back and listen to it again. Hey Nick, when you go back and listen, let me know.
Now one of my favorite J albums, like two of my favorite J albums that I think is definitely slept on. One, In My Lifetime. And the thing, In My Lifetime, he has some of the most introspective songs on that album. He has the joint Lucky Me, the joint with Kelly Price on the hook. He talks about
You Must Love Me.
You Must Love Me. One, Where I'm From, is like one of my top 5 J songs. But of course, some of the glossy songs on there kind of make people like just give you a bad taste. You know what I'm saying? So people kind of like look at that one as not his best album. I see some people talk about American Gangster. American
Gangster is actually a really great album. You know what I'm saying? I could listen to that one the whole way through. We talk about J albums like this. Like there's no bad J album, right?
Nah.
So, but American Gangster is actually, in my opinion, American Gangster is his album that sonically and content wise the closest to Reasonable Doubt. And I was telling my man, the thing about Jay, right, is that Jay is kind of like Tom Brady, right? So if Jay has done so well that like Jay drops something and people don't like it, it's kind of like, and if Jay is complaining about it or he mentions it in the song, it's kind of like Tom Brady complaining about the pass interference call when he's up 50 on the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Jay, I mean, like, you're not gonna win every single joint.
Yeah.
So it's like, let him live. But he says that's on the Magna Carta. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, whatever.
And
so
I got a question to throw back to you, and because you a literal dude, you love your books. I'm surprised you haven't talked about books during the shows. Yeah.
Well, that's because I'm in the books. So I gotta find somebody else who's in the books.
Maybe do like a book club or whatever. But I heard the book. Shout out to my brother AJ Throwback. The book that Michael Eric Dyson wrote about Jay. I heard it's a great read.
He wrote a joint about Nas too.
Okay.
He wrote a joint about Nas and broke Illmatic like all the way down. And they asked Nas about it, and Nas was like, I'm pretty sure he's right, but like that dude is way too, psychoanalytical, like that's just the shit we was just dealing with, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
But yeah. Because we gotta get to your top 5. I'm dying to hear your top 5. Not dying enough to be on your top 5. But who has the best hip hop album of all time?
Ooh. Whole album front to back. Hip hop of all time. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I would either, for me, it'd be a cross of I know. It was written. I'm gonna go. It was written.
Guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. It was written.
Oh shit! Hold on. How did we come to this conclusion? How did we get here?
Sizzling your spirit, huh?
Yeah. I'm here for it though. Please talk to me.
For the production, and it was written.
Mm-hmm.
Superb. The pictures that Nas painted, the whole album, and you get the whole Nas in that album. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You get the conscious Nas with Black Girl Lost.
Mm-hmm.
You get the ghetto fabulous Nas with shootouts and all that kind of stuff. You get the G Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You get the affirmative action. You get the joints with Dre on there.
Yeah.
You got the joint with Lauryn Hill on there. You
Mm-hmm.
got the message, the way that it starts off. Like to me, it was written. It's one of those perfect albums,
Start to finish.
start to
You
finish.
got the slave shit in the beginning. Him and
Hmm.
yeah, and then him and AZ talking.
Yeah, and then you got one of the most best storytelling songs in hip hop ever, where he describes himself as a gun. The abdomen, the
Yeah.
abdomen is my
Yeah.
yeah, like yo, yeah.
Have you ever seen Nas live?
I've never seen Nas live.
Yeah, I seen Nas live a couple years ago, and Nas is the only person. So that's a good segue to my top five, right? So at the end of every show, I have people tell me, my guests tell me they top five people that they would like to sit down and have an intimate conversation with. That person can be dead or alive, uh, real
Hmm.
or fictional, right? Nas is the only one I'll admit to being in my top five. The other four, it's
Okay.
always changing. It's always changing, and stuff like that. But Nas is the only one I'll give on record, really. But
Mm,
I need your top five.
okay. Top five people I would
Top five
have a
people you like to sit down and have a conversation with one on one. They could be dead or alive, real or fictional. And you don't have to rank
gotcha.
them 1 through 5 or nothing like that, but just your
Mm,
five.
gotcha. All right. Before I get that, shout out my brother Dwight. See, he jumped on there. He's a DJ too. My man,
Oh,
the
okay,
Groove Man.
cool, cool, cool. What up,
Yeah,
Dwight? What's
that's my
good? He
guy.
said my Bible, one of the greatest tracks that's misunderstood. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So top five to have a conversation with.
Mm-hmm.
One, and not to be cliche, I would say President Obama.
Okay.
One, I believe in being great at everything, and I think a lot of times we don't see the intricate things that it takes to be great. We just see the finished product.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to talk with you know, Obama, like the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
just going through that. Like, did you ever see when LeBron talked about before they were going to the bubble and it was late at night and they called Barack?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
Barack was like, yo, I understand, but don't do that again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to know what it means to hold that weight, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I think, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Right.
Um, Probably, with that being said, probably Jay,
Okay.
just to talk about the evolution from coming from nothing
Right.
to one of the biggest, not just African Americans, but one of the biggest people influencers in our generation.
Right.
Um, Secondly, I would love to talk to Mother Nature.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's interesting that we call Mother Nature in the personification of a woman
Mm-hmm.
when you think about seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would love to talk to Mother Nature. Um, Next, who else would I talk to? Um, Heavy D. I would love to talk to Heavy
That's a
D.
good one. I don't think anybody has said Heavy D yet. That might be the
Yeah.
first time. What you want to talk to Heavy D about?
One, just like the curation of the hits. I think Heavy D is one of the most slept on. Like, dude had hits, the hits, the hits, the hits.
Mm-hmm.
And then how he stayed in his lane, and then
Right.
how he transitioned into production.
Mm-hmm.
Finding talent, curating talent, being the A&R, helping out with the Jodeci, the MCA projects. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's incredible. And last but not least, the DJ in me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you were playing sports, how you pattern your game. Like for me, it's DJ Scratch.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would love to talk to Scratch.
All right, cool. So I got one more question for you, and this is legitimately just for me.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck what nobody else think about this answer. This is just me and you. You know how Kevin
Gotcha.
Samuels be like, don't pay attention to the comments. What's your favorite Chels verse?
All right, my favorite Chels verse. Um, Probably the second verse on Number One Contender.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, see you and Melissa ganging up on me on the number one contender thing.
Number One Contender. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
There's
trying
some
to
other
remember how that
ones.
verse. I'm trying to remember how that verse started. I can't even think of it on the top of my head.
like when I listen to a Chels song,
Mm,
like you when you go in, you got a beginning,
hmm
but there's always a moment in the verse where you in your groove, where you in your groove,
hmm
And I think that second verse, you was like, I'm the number one contender.
hmm
Like you was, like you felt them bars, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you rolled right into it.
Mm. So I could
I
say,
do,
my fault. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
and I would probably say my second favorite one is the joint we did on the Mobile. Um, what's this? I want to say the song's like "Not to Fuck with Us" or
Oh, the don't fuck with us,
uh,
fellas. Oh,
yes,
I was angry on that shit. I
and
was
I
pissed the
love
fuck
that.
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I was mad.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
mad. I was mad on that
yeah,
joint. Yeah. So
yeah.
y'all might want to go listen to that because there's an album out there with myself, Shane, and what's his stage name?
Novocaine,
Novocaine.
Novocaine.
Yeah, Novocaine.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to say what his nickname would be called him and shit.
yeah,
But a mobile Lare, We Are Greatness. It's on streaming platforms. That's a whole nother set of music from us that y'all have never heard. It's verses on there
yeah.
for y'all to go peep few
Classic
years
album,
back. Yeah,
classic.
that's one that we had fun recording that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Can I tell about the moment when we performed Weatherman?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Oh man. So we who invited us out?
Who cares? I don't know.
Yeah. So we
I mean, I can see if it was
yeah,
like last week. Like, I just
yeah,
remember we was in that
yeah.
joint rocking the shit.
Yeah, yeah. And the dopeness about that is, so we perform Weatherman, it's me and you. We ain't had no entourage, no groupies, no none of that.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a showcase. It's maybe like 20 artists there. And I think we was like the third ones to go on.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has their entourages. They got all these shirts and jackets. And you could tell who the crews was because when they went on, their whole crew was singing and performing the songs.
Right.
So me and you, we the third act to go up there. What's up, like Coach Ron? And so we go up there and we perform Weatherman.
Mm-hmm.
One, the sound of the song, which was dope, it sounded like nothing nobody else had performed that night.
Yeah, that
You
shit
know what
was
I'm
tight.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got out there, we was aggressive, we killed it, and then we got off like I said, it's just me and you, Dolo.
Right.
And people was like, "Yo, y'all killed it." And
Yeah.
so it wasn't like they ain't have no merit for us, but the music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
they accolades was authentic. It wasn't like they was just bigging us up because they rolled with us and these are, like nah. And so that euphoric feeling when we got off there was
Yeah.
like yeah,
We killed that
yeah,
shit. And that joint, it
mm,
reminded me of there's a video that Nas did. I think it's Made You Look where he's performing and it's almost like the crowd, like when you performing, like the crowd is like right here. That's what the setup
mm,
was like in that joint. So when we was spitting, it wasn't like we was on the stage. Like, nah, the stage was the floor. It might have been
yeah,
like a foot or two off the
yeah,
ground. So like they could reach out and
mm,
touch you. And it just felt like metaphorically, it was like being in a stadium when the crowd get the stomping and shit, and the whole shit just be just
yeah.
rocking. And in the moment you
Uh,
rapping, and then there's a part of your consciousness that escapes it, and it's like, oh shit, like they fucking with us.
yeah, yeah.
Like they rocking with us, yo. Like this shit
uh,
crazy. That's wild, man. I know for me, one of the joints I always think about with us is the Bus Boys and Poets, because that joint links to other performances, right? And I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
we did Weatherman before or after that, but I know that when we did Bus Boys and Poets and I forgot my verse, I carried that cross with me all the way to Hollywood, bro. When I was on the reel and I was in the back with the sound guy, because the stage was like this, and I was up here with this, with the sound guy, and that was going through my mind like, hey dog, this shit is not Bus Boys and Poets. You got to go out and kill this shit.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of crazy
Yeah.
how my mind thinks more about Bus Boys and Poets than they do Weatherman. But that's a survival instinct of the brain. But I felt like
Yeah.
I exercised that demon by going on TV and spitting the verses. Like,
Killing it.
okay, that shit over with. I
Yeah.
killed that joint off or whatever. But yeah, man. I always give everybody an opportunity to ask me a question. You have any questions for me before we roll?
Um, trying to think.
No, I didn't write my verse yet. I'll answer that for you. I know you was waiting for. I was gonna let you cheat and be like, "Did you write that other verse?"
Yeah.
Because I emailed you. Like, I got the email. No, it's
Uh,
coming.
uh, no, nah, no pressure, no pressure. Um, what's your favorite song you ever did?
My favorite song that I ever did, I think, is Time Myth Theory. And me
Mm,
and Melissa talked about this. It's just because that's a concept that you've never heard anybody talk about in hip hop. Like,
yeah.
your really deep philosophers and religious people can go down that rabbit hole of time not being a real thing. Like the physical body is what ages. There's an infinite spirit that just sits in a timeless space. So to be able to have that as an idea or a thought and turn it into a hip hop song, like I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what's real impressive. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, because I answered that before. Um, Shoot, man, I really like Legendary,
Okay.
because Legendary is the last song that I made since I wrote that verse for you. You know what I'm saying? On your
Mm-hmm.
on your upcoming album, that was the last joint I wrote, and it kind of detailed my journey from starting with my boys when I was 20 all the way up through. And that's why I say, I'm making beats, and my man, he sleep on the couch, and I'm realizing like, yo, this shit solo, like I'm gonna have to do this by myself. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him on the phone that the morning before I went on the reel. We was on the phone. I'm out in Hollywood, and I was like, if be honest, yo, it felt kind of weird because I never wanted to be the guy who had to represent. I just wanted to be the guy that was in the group who showed
Right.
up sometimes. I wanted kind of to be like the busy bone guy, not as wild, but just like
Mm-hmm.
he might be there, he might not. But everybody wants to hear from him, but he just kind of like he with his family or something. And I felt
Mm-hmm.
like I carried that weight all the way from 2001 to 2015, and it was a great moment, and I enjoyed it. But I was so damn scared because I'm like, I'm doing this, man. I'm going on national TV in a police uniform rapping, bro. You
Mm-hmm.
ain't never seen no shit like that before. And that's
uh,
scary because I can F up on one side of the aisle, I can F up on the other side of the aisle. And I
mm,
talk about that in Legendary. Lil say she like diamonds are forever. Melissa said, how can I not choose? I like number one contender. I love number one contender. I remember how I wrote that joint. I remember the zone that I was in when I wrote it. And it was easy for me to write. It took me a long
mm,
time. I sat with that beat for months, and then one day the hook just dropped in my mind, and I was like, and it was like the whole song was written. That dream was
mm,
easy. It wasn't complex. I didn't have to think about it. That's how most people feel. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like they not the chant. Like I'm fighting to become that which I want to be. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It's some other joints that I really. The last song on God's lyricist, it's called "You." Well, I shout out everybody. I got a joint on Parallel Universe called Unborn Star, where I wrote it from the perspective of an aborted child. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? So if you can dig through that and find that, I think that's pretty creative. And I know I'm missing something now in
And
terms of
it's crazy that we rap that that we dialogue in here because it's like um it's so perspective of it's of you the Nas lineage, and
Yeah,
I'm like the J lineage.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That's what it is. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you just an offshoot. You know what I'm saying? You an
Mm,
offshoot of that which came before you. It was
yeah.
something
And
else.
I think Weatherman is that perfect example of that.
Yeah, it
How we go
is.
back and forth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Now, my favorite. I love my verse on the outro to Immobilare to We Are
Uh,
Greatness because that shit was just pure energy. But the
mm,
verse that I listen to on that album that always surprises me is when I be like, move to the side, too deep for niggas. I sleep through niggas or something. No
mm,
pink blood, pink slime, no blood. Beef you niggas or some shit like that. I listen
yeah.
to that like I wrote that.
I caught that flow. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
Mm,
woo-wee. I don't know what I was doing back
yeah.
then, but I need to get back to that.
Yeah.
But other than
And
that, man, that's kind of the ones that I really that comes to my mind off the top of my head. We're gonna get off of this joint and I'm gonna be like, damn, I forgot that
mm,
one. Vision Pain Rise too. Vision Pain
yeah.
Rise is near and dear to my heart. That's the only song I ever wrote that I cried to. Dear Mama Ain't Tupac.
Mm,
Other people cried to that joint. Dear Mama Ain't Tupac, I actually think if the cards had lined up right, I think that joint would have been a mega hit.
mm,
I think that would have been a joint. If I was ever to be a one hit wonder, that would have been the one song that was a hit.
okay.
Because I just think it's something they could play every Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? And it
Mm,
was very open
yeah.
and honest. I talk about my childhood. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm,
but
yeah.
yeah, man, that's me
Yeah.
on my music shit. I got one more
That's
verse
how.
in me.
I know you got it. I know you got it. That's how I felt when we did Thankful. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? I was like, yo, we just made a Thanksgiving hit.
right,
You know,
right.
yeah,
The cool thing that kind of ties back into the question about it being digital now too, though, because those songs live on forever. You
absolutely.
know what I'm saying? So it's nothing that says that we're going back into artist mode. Oh man, they try and get me to do some more music. I'm like, I don't know,
Mm,
man. It takes so it takes so much for me to write music, man. It
yeah.
takes so much, and like I'm telling you, like after I write a song, I be dog tired, yo.
Mm,
Because I'm gonna tell you and me and Melissa talked about this. It's not just me. Like I have to go up to the ancestors and get this shit, man.
yeah.
And to
Cause
go
it,
up and come back down, you just be like, oh God, I'm tired.
yeah. And like always look at. It's crazy that we don't look at ourselves as artifacts. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? And when whatever mark or whatever footprint that you leaving in this world,
mm-hmm.
you like a living, breathing artifact.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I think if we thought of that, we'll be more conscious about that moment that we leaving. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, people don't realize what it takes to create, to be in that
Mm-hmm.
creative space. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like to go in that booth and like the way, we record militantly.
Mm-hmm.
We go in there, we ain't, shucking and jiving,
Right.
we really into our craft.
Right.
And people don't understand what it takes to be in that mode. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
so that's why just certain like I was speaking about Most Def. That's why I love Most Def like that, because he could just be in that creative space
Mm-hmm.
and like and just float and do whatever he wants to do.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
I love that
So
about most because most will be like, I don't have to make the shit you want me to make. I make the shit I want to make. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And that's one of the things I love
mm.
about
Well,
most.
hey, if
Go ahead.
I A&R your next record, you know what I'm
I mean,
saying? Your next
like I
album.
told y'all, man, I'd be open to doing it, but I can't do it the way I did God's lyricist. I don't.
Yeah,
I'll be 40 next year. I don't have it in me. I need a whole team to be able to
yeah,
pull it off. I mean, I would love to do it, but I also like, man, it's hard working with wife and kids and trying to pull that stuff because like I've had people ask me like, do you ghostwrite? I don't think I can ghostwrite. You know why? Because I feel like I have to go into my soul and get this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I got it in me to go into my soul and turn it into something that I could give you, because it's just not that shallow. I
Right,
might say
right.
something that have you spitting something that you don't even agree with,
Yeah,
and I can't
yeah,
do that to you.
yeah.
I'm like,
It's
I'm
like
good.
uh, it's just like the like I said, I love seeing taking that blank canvas,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like making the album hustle and motivate. I was because we was in the studio last night, and I was like, you can't be in my circle and I not have you some way involved in my project.
Mm-hmm.
And my
Right.
man was like that. He was like, that's you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, just think about it. The joint we did with Dr. E. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we actually got, of course, we got a personal relationship with Dr. E, but we actually got a song with our therapist. Like, how dope is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how dope is that? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
like I said, when I heard the song, and I was like, all right, I can see Chels vibing on this song. But
Mm-hmm.
what if Dr. E came in this and did this whole Dr. E thing? You
His
know what I'm saying?
motivational thing. He did. He killed
Oh,
it too.
this is oh yeah, oh yeah. So like I said, I'm excited when the project does come out, just to see how each record touches everybody. You know,
Mm.
you know.
What's the joint on the We Are Greatness with the guy? It got like it sounds like a college band on it.
Oh,
I'm
dang,
a
you gonna make me
leader.
look at.
Wake up
I'm
in
a
the morning, get the
leader.
booty like a monk, make a nigga want to rise when the pain get
Yeah,
tough. Never think about your death till your life on the brink. One that joint is another one that I had, and I was like, oh shit, like I caught that one too. I knew it was one more, and I was
yeah.
like, oh Lord, I had a flow that I've never caught before. That one,
Uh,
yeah, that's
yeah.
my shit too. Hold on, let me see. Somebody said, heavy is the head, brother, but they gave you the crown. Mm.
Hmm.
Y'all making me want to write. Yes, sir. I'm 40 now and I'm digging hard, bringing it back out. I'm just a creator at heart. Been away for 11 years, and to be back recording now is a huge relief as well as a responsibility. Yeah, it's a major responsibility.
Mm.
I think people who aren't artists and don't create don't understand. Like DjShane said, like yo, man, like I put my heart and my soul, my mind, my feelings, the fibers of my being into this shit.
Hmm. Yeah, and whoever that is, man. One thing I would like to say, not to get on my soapbox or whatever, us as black people, hip hop has no expiration. We always say like hip hop is a young man's game and all that, or like somebody is, what's the term they start using? Somebody is not relevant anymore. As long as you can create, you are relevant. As long as you're breathing, you are relevant. Don't ever let anyone tell you you're not relevant. You could be 50, 60-year old and rapping. As long as that music lives in you, you're going to always create. I'm a be 70 and hear a beat and be like, yo, I got something in the car for this. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So music and creating is forever. And I wish that us as black people, you know, we can be the most unappreciative people when it comes to our culture.
To
But
ourselves.
yeah, but other people, take from our culture because they see the value in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And we gotta stop being like people be like, well, you know, Ashanti is irrelevant. Like what? Like you crazy? Like so you gonna tell me in the 2000s or whatever you was listening to an Ashanti and Ja Rule song? It was everywhere. So
Everywhere,
it was
bro.
everywhere. So if you was a fan of these people, regardless of your age, you know what I'm saying? Support them people. You know,
Mm.
the Rolling Stones can do the Super Bowl, and they on ventilator machines. You know what I'm saying? You know,
They rolled out there with oxygen tanks.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? And white people to be like, oh, they're not the old Rolling Stone, but they still show them that same love. We got to do that for our R&B and hip hop artists. We got to stop acting like our culture has an expiration date. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I agree.
Our culture is in us.
Right. I agree. It was something else. So to end it, right? You said you were talking about how we were talking about how you could get to that point where you see everything in music and shit like that, right? Um, Alan Watts is a philosopher I listen to all the time. And I probably brought him up before. One of the things he talks about, he was like, all of existence, from the moment if you want to say Big Bang, or God said, let there be light, this whole shit is just a song, right? And our
Mm-hmm.
existence are some of the notes in the song. And that's what, he's like, that's one of the reasons it's the English language, but we call it the universe, one song.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, like, that shit make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But this is where we wrap up. I appreciate you. We blood in, blood out. I love you, my brother.
Yes,
If you
sir.
ever need anything, you know where I'm at. You know how to find me. I'm gonna have your verse for you soon. And
My God.
yeah, I appreciate you sitting down with me, man. I'm looking forward to editing this one down. I always have to go back and look and listen to them again and be like, damn, this was a hell of an interview.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Y'all go follow at DjShane 202. If you don't follow me and you here for him, please follow me. Go find me on YouTube, Marcello Bradley. What's up with you? Subscribe. Y'all gotta help me get to my 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours on YouTube. Please do that. Go
Gotcha.
subscribe. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thanks for coming out. We'll see y'all again soon. I don't know if I'm going live next Friday. Oh, I am going live next Friday, the 17th. Another special
Okay.
guest. Appreciate y'all. Shane, my man. I love you, bro.
Love you, bro. Proud of you, man.
Salute, King.
Yes, sir.